Well, I start with immediately with I guess the reasons why I have been invited to address this very distinguished, important audience of the Italian teachers. This is the story of the Polish success in PISA. I am not hesitating to use this word. You might be surprised why there is the very long line describing our improvements in reading and they are shorter in mathematics and science. It is because the results from 2000 in mathematics and science could not be compared with the results on the other ways of PISA. But anyway, you can see that we improving our results all the time. And in my presentation, I will try to tell you about the Polish reforms, which started in 1999, and try to indicate what might be, because we couldn't be 100% sure, but what might be the links between the specific reform introduced in Poland and the changes in the results in PISA and the improvements on the results in PISA. Well, I have to say that I'm talking to you, what I think is a privilege, talking to the dedicated, enthusiastic teachers. That's what I remember. On the one hand, I have the sentiment because I started my career like it is in the Shanghai as a teacher. I taught mathematics in primary and secondary schools for something like 15 years. And then when the big changes happened in Poland, the change of the system, I was, how to say, springboarded to the position in the Ministry of Education. So I had also experience of the bureaucrat, civil servants, this, man from the ministry with this strange approach to education. I was the Director General of the Ministry at the time when this big reform of 1999 was introduced in Poland. So probably my opinion on that reform, which I think was quite successful, and I think the PISA results prove that, maybe a little biased because that is part of my career, of my CV, and I consider it as a very important experience. But I hope I haven't forget completely the experience of teachers and the joy of teaching and contacting the students and just being happy to see how they develop and how they're progressing. Okay, so let's start with as I said, the pivotal point was this reform introduced in 1999. So let's start with the very short description of the system. So let's immediately go to the picture. As you can see, I hope, yes, the starting school age was 7. So it's not very low to compare. In most of the European countries, the school started at 6, even 5. So in Poland, it started at the age of 7, and we have and we had 8 years of the comprehensive primary schools, and then different tracks at the secondary level with general academic-oriented education, technical secondary schools, and so-called basic vocational schools. Those basic vocational schools were considered as not the best option. So the students who were leaving primary schools, who have some kind of the ambitions, they either tried to attend particularly general secondary schools, but in so there are entrance exams to those upper secondary schools. Well, at the time we haven't the lower secondary level, so that's to the secondary schools. That entrance exam was organized within the school. So it's not some kind of the state exams universal for all students across Poland. And the results were used only for the selection. So there is no feedback to the primary schools. There is no communication between primary schools and secondary schools. So of course the primary schools teachers tried to follow the career paths of the graduates, but that there is no system of, and again, if there are different exams in different schools, well, for example, in the city of Warsaw, they are the same in all schools in the city, but in other parts of the country, there might be different. So that it's not reliable information back on that. That was considered taking into account that there are limited number of places, something like 30 to 40% of the students could continue education in general secondary schools. So there is a quite tough selection. So this is a high stock exam. And there is also a specific, how to say, side effect of that, because the application for all types of schools took place at the same time. And there are, of course, among the basic vocational schools, there are such like, I don't know, car mechanism or cooking, or the professions which has a, higher esteem than others. So some students who had some doubts about their real possibility to pass this exam, and it was the first exam in their career. So they said, okay, it's better that I put my documents to the schools, vocational schools, which I would like to attend, than failing at this exam to academic school, to general secondary school. Then I find myself in the, I don't know, bricklayer profession. With all the respects to the bricklayer profession, but you know what I mean, this kind of the negative selection to the vocational schools. So many students even didn't try to apply to general secondary schools. I would return to this point later on when I describe the new system. At the end of the secondary schools, we have so-called matura exam, maturity, but it was, well, first it was organized by the local educational authorities, so different in different part of Poland, assessed by the students in the given school, with all, okay, not criticizing teachers, but with all doubts if it's fair and reliable source of information. And for that reasons, it was not used as entrance exam to the universities. So actually, it was a kind of the, well, cultural event, and the failing rate was very, very, very low. But there's something what was really important, what was high-stake exam, was the entrance exam to the universities, and it took place a couple of weeks later after matura exam.